You are looking at your retirement statement, you're looking at your grocery bill, and you are asking yourself, where did it all go? As of September 2025, inflation is holding at 3%. The cost of living adjustment, or COLA, for Social Security in 2026 is projected to be only 2.8%. That isn't just a statistic, it is a mathematical certainty that you are getting poorer. Your entire life savings are being devalued by the day. The cost of living crisis is no longer a headline. It is a daily reality. The experts will tell you to sell everything and move to Portugal. They tell you to buy an RV and embrace minimalism. That is not a strategy. That is a fantasy. For those of us living in the real world, we need a plan B, a practical one here on American soil. But here is the hard truth. The last truly affordable places in America are not sunny retirement towns. They are the places that have been forgotten, collapsed, or abandoned. You see videos online promising hidden gems. Today, we are not looking for gems. We are conducting a cold, hard risk assessment. I am going to analyze 10 U.S. towns where home prices are so low, they feel like a scam. But I will also tell you exactly why they are cheap and what the real price is that you will pay to live there. This is not a travel video. This is an economic survival guide. We will start with the towns that trade safety for affordability and then move to the towns that trade sanity for solitude. Number 10, Detroit, Michigan. The original hook you heard is that you can buy a house for less than a year's worth of coffee. Let's look at the data. That claim is technically true. You can still buy homes for $5,000 or $10,000 at the Wayne County tax auction, but you must understand what you are buying. The average home price in Detroit has actually risen 4.3% in the last year. The comeback is real, but it is happening in specific fortified pockets. The properties for $10,000 are often shells. They are distressed. They need another $100,000 in work if you can find a contractor who will service that neighborhood. Now let's talk about the catch, the price you pay. The 2024 data shows Detroit's violent crime rate is nearly 5 times the national average. This is the non-negotiable reality of the city. It has been this way for decades. So let's do the 2025 survival analysis. The survival pros. The upside is the potential for zero debt. You can own a tangible asset, a home, outright. The comeback in the city center is real. If you are a skilled tradesperson, a plumber, an electrician, or you can do remote work, you can build a life here with almost no overhead. The survival cons. The risk is your personal safety. That is a daily calculation. You are not just buying a house, you are buying a security system, window bars, and a high alert mindset. And here is the hidden cost. A 2025 report found Detroit is the #1 city in America where residents spend the highest percentage of their income on groceries. The cost of living is low, but the cost of essentials is high. There is important context. As of October 2020, crime is trending down to historic lows. The city is improving. But the question for a survivor is, are you willing to bet your safety on a trend? Number 9. Flint, Michigan. The hook for Flint is that the house is cheaper than the car parked in front of it. Again, this is true if you are talking about distressed properties. Zillow is full of listings that look like typos, but they are real. The catch, however, is catastrophic. It is not just the water crisis you read about. The water crisis is a symptom of a deeper problem, a complete and total collapse of infrastructural trust. The pipes failed, the government failed, the trust is gone, and the social fallout is severe. In 2025, local politicians described Flint's violent crime rate as the second highest in the nation. So, the 2025 survival analysis. The survival pros. The cost of entry is as close to zero as you can get in America. If you are on a fixed income, like Social Security, you can live here. You can buy a property with cash from a single 401k withdrawal. Financially, you would be stable. The survival cons. The risk is your long-term health. You are not just buying a house, you are buying a complex multi-stage water filtration system for your kitchen. You are buying uncertainty about the air you breathe and the ground you live on. There is almost no chance of your property value increasing. This is not an investment, it is an expense. Flint is a last resort option. It is for those who have no other choice. Number 8. McAllen, Texas. The hook is that McAllen is Florida without the retirees, or California without the high prices. The data supports this. The median home price in McAllen, as of late 2025, is around $227,000. The national median price is over $415,000. It is genuinely, verifiably affordable. The catch is twofold: geopolitical and environmental. McAllen sits directly on the U.S.-Mexico border. It is the center of the immigration debate. This creates a high-friction, high-tension environment, and environmentally, it is extreme. The heat is oppressive for much of the year. The 2025 Survival Analysis. The Survival Pros. There is no state income tax in Texas. The local economy is surprisingly stable, anchored by international trade and a very large healthcare sector. It is a vibrant, culturally rich place to live. The survival cons. While there is no income tax, the property tax rate is a significant 1.63%. But the real hidden cost, the one that drains your fixed income, is your utility bill. Air conditioning in McAllen is not a luxury. It is a life-sustaining utility, and you will pay for it every single month. You are trading the high taxes of a blue state for the high utility bills of an extreme climate. Number 7. Kansas City, Missouri. The hook is that you can find houses for under $50,000. This is true, but it is geographically specific. These homes are not in the suburbs. They are in areas like the zip codes east of Troost Avenue. The city is a stark tale of two cities, and the dividing line is real. The catch is the severe social division and the resulting crime. In 2025, reports show violent crime in Kansas City jumped 25.4%. Specifically, homicides related to domestic violence have spiked. This is not random, abstract crime. It is close, personal, and growing. The 2025 Survival Analysis. The Survival Pros. Kansas City is a real city. It has a major airport, world-class hospitals, and a vibrant culture. If you are a savvy investor or just very careful, you can find a neighborhood on the edge of gentrification and see real investment growth. The potential is here. The survival cons. The risk is that you are not just researching a zip code. You must research block by block. Moving 3 streets over can change your entire reality. You risk buying a property in a high-friction zone that will never recover. You could make a $50,000 mistake that traps you in a neighborhood you cannot safely live in. Number 6. Greenville, Mississippi. The hook is that you can buy a house for less than a used jet ski. We fact-checked this. It is absolutely true. As of September 2025, Realtor.com shows a listing price range in Greenville from $20,900 to $650,000. The jet ski properties are real. The catch is total and complete economic stagnation. There are no jobs. The economy is based on agriculture and a few small casinos. The poverty rate is high. This is a town that has been left behind by the modern economy. The 2025 Survival Analysis. The Survival Pros. There is really only one. If you have a stable, fixed, passive income, like a pension or Social Security, you can live here for almost nothing. Your monthly check, which would be poverty level in California, makes you comfortable in Greenville. The pace of life is slow. The survival cons. For the 55-plus audience, this is the most critical factor. There is a severe lack of quality healthcare. You are economically and culturally isolated. You are not moving here for opportunity. You are moving here to be left alone and to stretch a small income. It is a trade-off that requires you to be self-sufficient and in good health. If those first 5 towns represented a trade-off for your physical safety, these next 5 towns are a different kind of bargain. This is where you trade your sanity and all modern conveniences for total affordability. We are now entering the off-grid section of the list. Number 5. Perch Cheney, Michigan. The hook is free land and your neighbors are ghosts. Let's look at the data. The population is 0. The free land idea is mostly a myth. What is true is that you can buy land near this historic ghost town. A recent listing showed 10 acres for $75,000. It is not free, but it is cheap. The catch is the history. This was a 19th century logging town wiped out by disease and fire. The curse is just a story that describes a real-world tragedy. The 2025 survival analysis, the survival pros. Absolute 100% privacy. You own your land. You are your own boss. The survival cons. This is not moving to the country. This is expert level, off-grid living. There is no power grid. There is no city water. There is no internet service. There is no 911. If you fall and break your leg, you are on your own. The psychological risk of this total, profound isolation is a price few are willing to pay. Number 4. Moonville, Ohio. The Hook is cheap land near a haunted railroad tunnel. The data? Population, 0. This was an abandoned 1800s coal mining town. The haunting is just the folklore that springs up around a place that is this isolated and creepy. The catch is that it is, quite literally, just a spot in the woods. The 2025 survival analysis, the survival pros. The cost of land is as close to 0 as you can get. Total quiet. The survival cons. This is identical to Perch Cheney. You are not buying a home. You are not buying into a neighborhood. You are buying a piece of forest. All infrastructure, water, power, septic, communications, is your responsibility. The risk is 100% psychological. Can you handle being that alone? Number 3. Portlock, Alaska. The Hook. No zip code, no neighbors, and a local legend of a monster. The data, population, 0. The entire town fled. They abandoned their homes and businesses in the 1950s and never returned. The catch is the reason why they fled. The legend speaks of a creature, a Nantian, but the pragmatic truth is that the monster is a metaphor for the real dangers of the Alaskan wilderness. Extreme weather, massive bears, and an isolation so complete it can break your mind. The 2025 survival analysis. The survival pros, none. There are none. The survival cons, everything. This is not a survival option. This is a suicide mission. It is inaccessible. There are no roads, there are no services. The weather is lethal. The wildlife is dangerous. This is not an option. This is a warning. Number 2, Govan, Washington. The Hook is that you can buy the whole town for the price of a used car. The data, the population is approximately 3. The cheap town idea is another myth. Land near Govan is for sale, but a recent listing for 20 acres was $85,000. This is cheap for Washington State, but it is not a $10,000 miracle. The catch is the sheer, absolute emptiness and a dark history. A local judge and his wife were murdered here in 1902. The town just died. The 2025 survival analysis. The survival pros. Absolute, profound quiet. You could own a significant piece of land for a low price. The survival cons. There is no community. The nearest groceries are a 40-minute drive. That 40-minute drive is not an inconvenience. It is a strategic risk. What happens if your car breaks down in winter? What happens if you get a flat tire? There is no one to call. The risk of living this isolated is that a simple problem becomes a life-threatening emergency. Number 1, Beulah, Pennsylvania. The Hook is free land, built on a forgotten graveyard. The data. This was a failed utopia from the 1800s. The catch is that the free land is literally a cemetery. The town was abandoned. The ghosts are just the stories that remain. The 2025 survival analysis. The survival pros. The theoretical cost of land is 0. The survival cons. You are not buying a home. You are buying a legal and ethical nightmare. You cannot build a septic system on a graveyard. Like all the others, there is no infrastructure, no power, no water, no services. This is not a place to live. It is a historical project for someone with a lot of time and money. It is a curiosity, not a solution. The real cost of freedom. Let's review what we've learned. From the systemic failures of Detroit to the total isolation of Portlock, the thesis is proven. Cheap always comes at a price. You are not just paying with dollars. You are paying with your personal safety, like in Detroit. You are paying with your long-term health, like in Flint. Or you are paying with your connection to the modern world, and perhaps even your own sanity. So after looking at these 10 extreme examples, I have to ask a practical question. Are these towns failed experiments of American history? Or are they the last affordable frontier for the modern pioneer? I want to know what you think. In 2025, is the financial freedom of a $10,000 home worth the extreme risk? Let me know your practical assessment in the comments. But if you think your only choices are bankruptcy in California or fighting bears in Alaska, you are wrong. There is a middle ground. In the next video, we will analyze 5 hidden states where the economy is stable, the communities are safe, and housing is still reasonably affordable. Click the video on your screen right now to find out where they are. Thank you for watching.